Hello everyone, my name is Devini Rahman and today I'm going to talk about making inferences. Let's take a look. Making inferences. Making inferences is a comprehension strategy used by proficient readers to read between the lines, make connections, and draw conclusions about the text meaning and purpose. How do you make an inference? An inference is a kind of guess. When you read a passage, you get information from it. Then you can make an inference, a guess about the other informations and ideas that are not in the passage. When do you make inferences? In everyday life, you often make inferences. Examples: a friend from Chicago is supposed to arrive by plane this afternoon. You hear that there are terrible snowstorms in Chicago. You make an inference from this. Planes will probably not be able to fly out of Chicago, and your friend won't come today. You read an article in the newspaper about tourism in Turkey. It says that the number of foreign visitors has increased greatly. You make an inference from this. Turkey might be a good place to look for a job in the tourist industry. Readers also make inferences. They might need to infer the general meaning of new words. They sometimes infer information or ideas that aren't in the passage. Writers don't or can always tell everything to the reader. There might be gaps or holes in the reader's knowledge about something. The reader may need to try to fill in these gaps by making inferences. Okay, now let's try doing exercise. Making inferences from stories. In this exercise, there is a passage from a book. You will try to infer more about the story from the information in the passage. There may be more than one possible answer for some questions. Note: more than one answer is often possible in this exercise too. You should be ready to explain your answer. Exercise: read the passage from Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. Make inferences to answer the questions. More than one answer may be possible. When Anne woke up the next morning, she felt happy. She jumped out of bed and ran to the window. It was a beautiful morning. The sun shone and the sky was blue. Anne opened the window. Outside, there was a fruit tree with beautiful flowers. Anne could see many other trees and flowers, and a small river too. "This is a wonderful place," she thought. Then suddenly she remembered. She felt very sad again. "But I can stay here," she thought. "They don't want me because I'm not a boy." Marilla came into the room. "Good morning, Anne," she said. "Breakfast is waiting. Wash your face and put on your clothes." "I'm feeling very hungry," Anne said. "I can never be sad in the mornings. I love mornings." After breakfast, Anne washed the plate and cups. Marilla washed carefully, but Anne did the job well. "This afternoon I'm going to drive to Watson's," Marilla said. "You'll come with me, Anne, and we'll talk to Mrs. Spencer." Matthew didn't say anything, but he looked very sad. Later, he got the horse and buggy ready for Marilla. Marilla drove and Anne sat next to her. "Is it a long way to Watson's?" asked Anne. "About 8 kilometers," answered Marilla. "I know you like to talk, Anne, so tell me your story." "It isn't very interesting," said Anne. "I was born in Bolingbroke in Nova Scotia, and I was 11 last March. My parents were teachers, but they died when I was a baby, so their cleaner, Mrs. Thomas, and her husband took me into their house. Mrs. Thomas had 4 children. I helped her with them, but then Mr. Thomas died in an accident. Mrs. Thomas and the children went to Mr. Thomas' parents. They didn't want me. Then Mrs. Hammond, Mrs. Thomas' friend, took me into her house. She had 8 children. They were very hard work. Then Mrs. Hammond moved away. I had to go to the orphanage because nobody wanted me. I was there for 4 months. And the questions about this passage are: number 1, where are these people? Number 2, who are they? Number 3, when do you think this takes place? Number 4, what is happening? Number 5, how do the people probably feel? Number 6, what do you think will happen next? Okay, let's try answer the question together. Number 1, at Marilla and Matthew's house. We can guess that this is Marilla and Matthew's house from the way they spoke or acted like a homeowner. When Marilla came into the room where Anne was sleeping and prepared breakfast for her, and Matthew who prepared buggy and horse at that place when Marilla wanted to go to Watson. Number 2, Anne, Marilla, and Matthew. Anne is an orphan. We can infer that from Anne's dialogue when she told her story to Marilla. My parents were teachers, but they died when I was a baby. And also, I had to go to the orphanage because nobody wanted me. Marilla and Matthew, they are men and women who live together, who want to take a child from the orphanage to their home. But they wanted a boy child. Instead, they get Anne, a girl child. We can infer that from Anne's sentence when she woke up. They don't want me because I'm not a boy. Number 3. In the morning and afternoon. The time setting in the morning can be found from the paragraph narratives. When Anne woke up the next morning, she felt happy. The time setting in the afternoon can be seen in Marilla's dialogue when she told Anne that, "This afternoon I'm going to drive to Watson's." Number 4. We can infer that Marilla and Matthew asked for Mrs. Spencer's help to take a child from the orphanage, but they get the wrong child. They get a girl child and instead a boy child like they wanted. We can see that from the way Marilla decided to go to Mrs. Spencer's house after getting Anne. Number 5. Anne happy for a moment in a new place, but sad again when remembering that Marilla and Matthew didn't want her. Matthew and Marilla, confused because of getting the wrong child, and pity for Anne. Number 6. Judging from the look on Matthew's face that looked sad when he prepared a horse and buggy for Marilla to go to Watson's Mrs. Spencer's house, we can guess that it looks like Anne will stay with Marilla and Matthew at their house. That's all that I can explain. Hopefully now you can understand what, when, and how to make an inferences. Thank you.